You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900.
Thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices on this Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. Good evening, I'm Chris Palermo and here's what's happening as California continues to face dry weather. The Los Angeles County area is facing 4 different scorching fires. Rory Rosell has this fire update.
There are currently 4 fast-moving wildfires wreaking havoc across Los Angeles County, forcing more than 80,000 residents to evacuate their home as life-threatening and destructive winds fuel the flames. From the Pacific Palisades to Pasadena and Sylmar, the fires are burning out of control, threatening communities and destroying homes as emergency responders work tirelessly to contain the blazes. Though currently in California, the Palisades fire, which broke out on Tuesday morning around 10:30 a.m., is currently the most devastating fire. This fire has caused widespread devastation in the Pacific Palisade Highlands neighborhood. Within hours, the fire scorched 3,000 acres, and by Wednesday afternoon, that number has more than tripled to 15,000 acres. Driven by bone-dry conditions and wind gusts up to 100 miles an hour, the fire has destroyed at least 1,000 structures and has forced at least 30,000 residents to flee their homes. While the Palisades fire has quickly become one of the most destructive of the current fires, and in Los Angeles County history, it is not the only one wreaking havoc. The Eaton fire, which began earlier this week in the hills of Pasadena, has already burned 1,500 acres. Authorities have also confirmed that at least 2 people have been reported deceased during the blaze. As of Wednesday morning, more than 52,000 residents in Pasadena were under mandatory evacuation orders, with an additional 47,000 residents in the surrounding areas on alert. As of Wednesday evening, firefighters are still working around the clock to bring the fires under control, but the winds, which are expected to intensify overnight, are complicating efforts to contain the blaze. Officials have warned that these extreme conditions will continue for several more days, and more evacuation orders are expected as the fires spread. Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency in the affected counties, releasing additional state resources to assist with firefighting efforts. The National Guard troops have also been deployed to assist with evacuations and help provide emergency relief to those who are displaced by the fires. Firefighters from Southern Nevada are also expected to deploy to help battle the devastating wildfires that are burning throughout the Los Angeles County. A Clark County spokesperson says the Office of Emergency Management has received a request from the state of California for engines and support personnel. As the flames rage on, News 25 will keep the public updated on the status of how these fires are going.
More news now. Further details have been released regarding the Tesla Cybertruck explosion that occurred on January 1st in Las Vegas. With that, our News 25 Las Vegas correspondent Maria Centers now joins us from the city with new information. After that, our Clark County correspondent will detail an important message coming from the Red Cross of Southern Nevada.
Las Vegas law enforcement has confirmed that Matthew Livelsberger used racing fuel and generative AI to assist in the Tesla Cybertruck explosion that occurred on New Year's Day after pulling up to the Trump valet. However, according to his journal entries, he only intended to hurt himself. Let's hear from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department about recently released facts concerning the blast.
As the sheriff pointed out, we have a few developments, one on the video analysis and the video evidence that we've recovered, the other is on the physical evidence that we've recovered from the vehicle, and finally the digital forensics. Right there you'll see a trail of liquid falling from the back of the vehicle. And you'll see a before and after comparison in just a moment of the valet right before he drives onto the valet area and after, which will show you the fuel leaking from the vehicle. Of the explosion that occurs, you're going to see frame by frame, you'll see an initial flash prior to the larger explosion. So we'll pause right there. That's the initial flash that happens right before the large explosion. You're going to see a still in a moment. Right there's the initial flash. and then following that is the large explosion. The other thing that you're seeing circled in red there is, we believe, fumes from all of the racing fuel that was poured inside the vehicle and on the back. It ignited first.
2 firearms were recovered, including an AR pistol and a Desert Eagle handgun.
There were 3 cart casings, 50 caliber expended cart casings that were recovered. You can see images from the forensics there. What's very important about these cart casings in terms of what happened in that vehicle, 2 of the cart casings had primers that were burned out due to the intense heat. 1 of the 3 cart casings, as you can see, shows that the primer was punched, which basically means that it was shot through a gun, which is consistent with what we believe happened, that he ended up using the firearm to commit suicide.
The deceased man journaled an account of his activities within his phone.
And he talks about the Grand Canyon. That was on December 31st. We don't know exactly why he changed his plans from going to the Grand Canyon to potentially launch off of that glass skywalk. And why he chose Trump Towers. We're still looking at that. But ultimately, as we all know with what happened, there was a change in plans, and he showed up here at the Trump Towers on the following day, on January 1st. He also does write in there that he was super high on weed and drinking, which we are still working to confirm. And then he discusses the Cybertruck being used as a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. He also says that he has graphic encounters from his military experience that replay in his head over and over, and that now he feels like he's a shell of a human being with nothing to live for.
Release details can be found in full at lvmpd.com.
He basically starts using ChatGPT, which is a generative AI, to be able to get information on how to conduct this particular plot. So ultimately, you'll see that he looks at trying to figure out the amount of explosives needed in order to conduct the explosion he was looking to cause. He also talks about, in the next set of questions, you'll see he's trying to figure out where to buy fireworks and how much of it to buy. He looks at the equivalence of those fireworks and how they compare to TNT and other types of explosive material. On this next set of questions, there's a focus on the velocity of the bullet fired from the firearm and determining whether that would ignite the explosives. Technically, there are 3 components in there that we're able to try to analyze forensically. The SDMI chip only contains mechanical data, does not contain videos. That we did look at, and Tesla is proprietary to Tesla. They are helping us try to recover any kind of technical information about the vehicle at the time of the explosion.
I would like to just pause for a moment and take a chance to thank the tireless efforts of all of the detectives, the agents, federal and local, for the work that they've done on this. They haven't rested for a day. We've brought resources in from all around the country to get us to where we're at. They've just been remarkable, and I want to publicly acknowledge them.
And in other vital news affecting Clark and Nye counties, the Red Cross of Southern Nevada is calling on all of us to donate blood due to a severe storm affecting much of the nation. The powerful storm has resulted in the cancellation of over 250 American Red Cross blood drives in recent days, leaving over 5,000 uncollected blood donations. In response, the American Red Cross of Southern Nevada is urging locals to step up and donate blood in the coming days to help ensure patients nationwide have access to life-saving supplies. Concurrently, a new winter storm is brewing and is forecasted to hit multiple states, exacerbating the already existing shortfall. To locate a nearby blood donation center or schedule an appointment, download the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Proudly reporting from Clark County and shooting it over the hump to all of my people in the beautiful desert oasis of Pahrump, I'm Maria Centers for News 25 Las Vegas.
Thank you very much, Maria, for the information. More local stories coming up. You're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. The woman responsible for the Brandon Durham home invasion is now facing additional charges after breaking a window at the Clark County Detention Center with a food tray.
Alejandra Boudreaux, the woman who is accused of breaking into a man's home, an incident that ultimately led to a fatal police shooting, is now facing additional charges. According to a recent criminal complaint, Boudreaux allegedly broke a window at the Clark County Detention Center using a food tray on Christmas Day. Court documents reveal that Boudreaux was not brought to court for this new charge, as she is reportedly disruptive during proceedings. She is now facing a gross misdemeanor charge of malicious destruction of property in connection to the incident. incident. Further court filings indicate that Boudreaux will be required to attend a competency hearing later next week. The hearing will assess whether she is mentally fit to stand trial for the charges against her. The case continues to draw attention, with Boudreaux's actions in the detention center adding to a new layer of ongoing legal proceedings surrounding her original charges.
And continuing our coverage on the Henderson teen who was found dead, Jenna Lee's biological father speaks out about his grief.
The biological father of the Henderson teen that was found dead on Monday is now speaking out with anger and confusion following the circumstances surrounding his daughter's tragic death. Jenna Lee Hinn, age 17, was reported missing on December 30th and was discovered deceased on Sunday, January 3rd after a week-long search. Her body was found approximately 1 mile from the location where she was last seen, in a desert area near Desert Sunflower Circle and Spanish Needle Street in Henderson, Nevada. The Clark County Coroner's Office confirmed on Tuesday that the cause of death was a penetrating contact gunshot wound to the head and neck. The manner of death was ruled as a suicide. Jenna Lee's biological father, Hina Hinn, expressed his frustration and sorrow over his daughter's death, questioning the circumstances that led up to her taking her own life.
Her mom told me that she went missing, and it was like, to me, I thought it was a typical missing teenage story. You're gonna come back to your parents after a night out with your friends.
Authorities are continuing to investigate the details surrounding her death, but no additional information has yet been released, though her father says the reason he came to Henderson was because of a letter, a suicide note, which was not shared with the public during the initial investigation.
She had so much for her in life. She was just a teen. Teens make mistakes, honestly.
Jenna Lee's disappearance and subsequent death have prompted questions surrounding mental health and the pressure facing young people today, adding to the heartbreak felt by her loved ones.
We found out that there was a gun involved, and this is the officer, which is my ex's husband. He didn't lock it up. They had a huge argument. This was no minor argument. This is the huge argument that you can make a child, a teenager, to do the most horrific crime.
As this investigation unfolds, the Hinn family is left grappling with the loss of a young life cut short, while also demanding answers about what led to Jenna Lee's tragic ending.
More news now. There has now been one reported death involving the HSN1 bird flu, and News 25 reporter Kaylee Bentler has all of the details.
The first U.S. death from H5N1 bird flu has been confirmed in Louisiana, where an individual exposed to backyard birds succumbed to the virus. The patient, an older adult with pre-existing health conditions, contracted the D1.1 strain of the virus from backyard birds. In Nevada, the state's first case of H5N1 was detected this past December in a quarantined dairy herd in Nye County. The affected facility remains under strict monitoring, with mandatory testing to confirm the herd is virus-free. The FDA upholds that pasteurized dairy products remain safe for consumption, and that selling raw milk is illegal in Nevada, further reducing public risk. Nationwide, the outbreak has had a broad economic impact. Egg prices rose to an average of $3.65 per dozen in November, reflecting the strain on commercial poultry producers battling bird flu. The public's risk remains low, but officials urge farm workers to use protective gear when handling birds and to monitor for symptoms.
All right, well, look at sports. The Vegas Golden Knights, they swept the San Jose Sharks, all three meetings of the two teams, and Mikey has your complete look at sports now.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports, and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Vegas Golden Knights in San Jose on Tuesday, taking on the Sharks. First period, Shea Theodore with the up ice pass to captain Mark Stone, all alone. His 100th goal as a member of the Golden Knights. Still in the first period, Golden Knights on the attack. Zach Whitecloud makes it 2-0. Let's go on to the second period. Sharks on the power play. William Eklund makes it 2-1. Third period, Golden Knights on the power play. Jack Eichel with the backhand pass to Olofsson. He buries it. 3-1. The Sharks with another man advantage. Timothy Lithesgren makes it a 1-goal game. Sharks pull their goalie late in the game. Tomas Hertl with the empty netter. Vegas picks up their third win in a row. They host the New York Rangers on Thursday. The Las Vegas Raiders have requested head coaching interviews with the Detroit Lions' 2 leading coordinators. According to multiple reports, the Raiders have submitted requests to speak with offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Pahrump Valley Trojan girls basketball are in action this evening. At Boulder City High School, JV is in progress, and varsity at 6:30 p.m. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thank you very much, Mikey. And coming up on what would have been Elvis's 90th birthday, we take a look at the connection between Elvis and Las Vegas. You're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
And welcome back to News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. On April 23rd, 1956, actually, Elvis Presley made his Las Vegas debut as the closing act of a show at the New Frontier Hotel and Casino. Elvis's final show in Vegas took place on December 12th, 1976. And today, January 8th, 2025, would have been his 90th birthday. Here's a tribute to Elvis in Las Vegas.
Let's go, Cat! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday to you. Go, Cat! Somebody told me that it's your birthday. Somebody said that it's your birthday. A little bitty birdie told me it's your birthday. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Swing it!
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
That's the Lerner and Rowe WeatherCam, Mount Charleston, right outside the studios here in Pahrump. Well, the weather story the last couple of days was the wind. The other day we had a hang glider going, and we have 50-mile-an-hour winds. That would have blown him into Tonopah. Will the wind keep up? Kaylee has the weather in a bit.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. We're here when you need us, providing compassionate and friendly care to our neighbors since 2006. DesertViewHospital.com.
Good evening, Nevada. I'm Kaylee Bentler in the News 25 Weather Studios. Let's check out our regional weather to start with. Up in Fernley, we're seeing 46. Saw 43 in Fallon, 44 in Carson City, 41-degree weather twins for Tonopah and Goldfield, 54 in Beatty, 60 in Margosa, 58 Las Vegas, and 71 in Death Valley. But over in our paradise of Pahrump, currently seeing clear skies at 53 degrees. We hit a high of 58, winds north-northeast 6 miles per hour, humidity 14%, and the sun rose at 6:55. However, it already went away at 4:46 p.m. Expect humidity at 25%, winds northeast 10 miles per hour with a low of 36, and the skies are staying clear. Let's check out the rest of our week. That wind really comes back tomorrow, 18 miles per hour. But we got clear skies and 60 degrees. And then we get a day of rest on Friday with sunshine at 58, but then it comes right back, that wind. 16 miles per hour on Saturday at 60 degrees. And then we should have a pretty chill rest of the week, sun shining the whole time. We land on 59 degrees on Wednesday. And that is your look at the weather. Back to the desk. Here's Chris.
Thank you very much, Kaylee, for that very important forecast. I'll tell you why it's important, because, well, we have some folks from Portland, Oregon that have found me on Facebook and said they watch every night. They're thinking of moving to Pahrump, and they monitor the news right here at News 25. Thank you for watching far, near, and wherever you are. I'm Chris Palermo. That'll just about do it for all of us here tonight. Make it a great night.